Evening all. How is everyone? Howdy doody, etc. etc. Hang on, move me microphone. There we go. No, we don't. Nearly. That'll do. That'll do. Well, we've got two there so far. I'm having a guess one of them's Mick. A rough idea. Or it will be when he sees them on. Well, what's everyone been up to? Hi, Valleys, you alright? Good to see you. I've not a clue who else is there. We've got a second. I'm assuming it'll be Mick when he spots them on. What have we been up to, Valleys, over the weekend? I'm plodding on. Same old, same old. Getting old and none the wiser. I'll never get any wiser, I don't think. Don't do it, dickhead. You'll probably poke yourself in eye. Well, first time in a while yesterday. I took in a model railway exhibition. I bought some shit I needed. I missed it. I think I made a model and I'm thinking I left one of my Swan Martin scalpels in a box and I think I threw it out. Now, trying to get Swan Martin blades nowadays online is like a nightmare. So I got some from the exhibition. I bought a full box from the exhibition yesterday. And a new handle. I already had an handle, but I bought another new one. So I'm stocked up on blades for a bit now. But it's a farce. You can't buy blades on eBay and stuff. And they're worried because of stabbings. It doesn't work. Southport proves that. You can go in and get knives in kitchen shops and Wilkinson's has gone now, but B&M bargains, you can buy them anywhere. Third running loop, excellent. Diesel motor power depot. Layout is running excellent. And sloshed on old speckled N. Very nice. I went to a classic car show recently. Valleys and I. Well, it were a steam fair plus classic car show and motorcycle show, and they had, country show animals and stuff, and there were all sorts there. And I found the beer tent, and I found they had Theakston's Old Peculiar on draft, so happy days. Now like a bit of Theakston's OP. I'm on a cider tonight, though. It's not Cummins or Dickens, though. Good evening, Mick. How are you doing? It's a very good beer, Theakston's OP. If you get it served right, it's nectar. I had a nice Scottish cider yesterday in the trackside bar on East Lancs Railway. They do a nice Scottish cider there. Very tasty. I think I just had the one we just popped in for a quick drink while we were there. Quick drink and a chill, bought me mate a cider. It's just it is a nice little pub. Well, it's a pub and they serve food. And it's part of the railway, so part of railway income. But it's a real ales pub and it's really good. Local people go in a lot. Not necessarily steam enthusiasts, so it draws people to our preserved railway, which is a good thing. You can buy a pint and sit on the platform and watch. Well, you can sit there all day drinking if you want and watch steam trains going past. And diesel at times, if diesel's your back. Very nice environment. It's not the first time I've sat there with a beer. I assure you, sometimes I go weekdays when there's no trains running. Inches is nice as well. Valley's nice cider. I don't know whether you've ever tried it. If you can find it, try a beer called Innis and Gunn. That's a very nice beer. It's brewed in whiskey barrels. And very nice it is too. Bloody hell, next door's dog's bark again. It's a pain in the ass, it is. I'm thinking of putting a cyanide pork chop through its letterbox. Don't make a I know you're thinking I haven't thought of that. Yeah, so yesterday at the exhibition I also bought. Let's have a look. A couple of things for me engaged layout. Here we go. I got some under rail foam. Unsure whether I'll use that. It depends how it goes with ballast. I'm not sure whether it'll be. We'll see. About a aluminium chimney to go up the back of my locomotive sheds. And I got a salt wagon, which should go nice in a train. I'll weather it first, so that should be nice. I can believe it. I don't know whether to go that way or put ballast down. I don't mind ballasting. It's not going to be a huge layout anyway, the end gauge. It'll probably be a nightmare near points. I'll see what it looks like with foam down. Because, I mean, looking at that, I've I've got two lots. I've got some, what's the German make? Trying to think of German make. Well, yeah. It could be passable for ballast, that. Could pass for it. I don't know. It's got a bit of a shoulder on, hasn't it? I'll see. For some reason, well, do that again. Do it to me one more second. I've never had a look at that. I'll be right back. It's next door on my way out, where I can see it. I'll go and get it. I think you're right with knock. No, you're not. And you're not right with Fowler either. I'll go and have a look. Although you might be right with knock. Hang on, Woodland Scenic rings a bell. On my way back. Here we go. It is Woodland Scenics. Couldn't remember for a sec. I'm not sure what this one's like. See, that just has, bring it back, that just has the bed and no ballast. So that's different again. So yeah, how much is in that packet? Let's have a look what length is in that. 7.31 metres. And this is what? I think that might be 3 metre. No, 5 metres in the Pico and 7.31 metre in the Woodland Scenics. So, yeah. I don't know whether that'll do what I need, but I think it'll be somewhere close to it. Yeah, so there we go. That's about me purchases. Don't tell me I've lost another knife. I'm unbelievable. You're unbelievable. Oh no, it's up there. You watch now about that one. I bet I'll find another one. Oh God. What is it? You workers' valleys? Anything good? You may have told me, but I've got a memory like I said. Yeah, I'm off till Wednesday night, then I'm doing nights. 2 weeks of nights, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. With a passion. I wouldn't mind they're easier. It's easier work, but still hate them. It upsets your rhythm. And I don't get much chance to get into with the rhythm nowadays. Oh, cool. Excellent. Our nearest one now, well, no. If BCA still own it, we have Bellevue Car Auctions is my nearest. Then Brighouse. I think Brighouse is a BCA. Can't fault you. I'm an artist. I don't know whether you've ever seen any of my stuff, Valis. Well, I'm a piss artist tonight, but makes a change. I've got a cider. Yeah, I've just. Oh, excellent. Good stuff. I did have a book somewhere with all bits and pieces of my art in. I don't know where that is nowadays. Yeah, I do aviation. So good shizzle. Just been chatting to one of my buddies, one of the top aviation artists in country. I'm not too far behind him, but he is a lot better than me. He's a good artist. I'm not that far off him though. I'm getting there. If I started to continue anyway with what we're doing. But my disabilities aren't really allowing it. And my concentration nowadays. I can't grumble though. I've done some decent ones and I've had silverware for it. So I can't really grumble. And I sell as well. I get commissions. I've got a commission in at the moment, which I should be getting on with. Maybe do it in. I may do it in time for Christmas. Oh, mine are getting worse. I've had a recent eye test and my prescription's gone up again. Cheered me up no end. I went into Butty Shop yesterday the other day, to buy some sandwiches and pies for a fishing trip I was going on. And I got asked if I wanted senior discount. Cheeky bitch. Can proper piss me day off. I still took it though. Be rude not to, it were a fiver. I'm doing a commission of, the singer Pink. I'm doing a commission of her. She's posted a picture of her that she wants doing, and I'll do it with an artistic manner, altering the background, and I'll use the image, but I'll alter it to a degree. So it's more painterly. Oh, excellent. I've got a Mercedes not far away from me, Mick. Mercedes Road Gritter. I've got a lot of time for the girl Valleys. She's a good singer. She's done some beautiful songs, but when I first used to watch her videos, I thought she's been a professional dancer. And she hasn't. She was a professional gymnast. But it shows. Howdy, Jessica. Good to see you, Cocker. Nice to see you, buddy. Good to see you've seen me video. It was a good day. I went over with me buddy. He's just started a model railway. He was going to do it in his garage, or the top of his. He has a classic car, a little MG midget, and he was going to do it in his garage. And he said, "I couldn't be asked. I've not enough room in garage." He said, "I've got the car in there. I've got the motorbike." He said, "I've stripped it down, ready for spraying." He said, "So I'm converting my loft." So he started converting his loft, doing his loft for his model railway, which is good. Hang on, do a rarity. Comb my beard. It looks uneven. I think I might have to trim it. Girls at work keep going, "Trim it, trim it." Don't want to. Took ages to grow it. Right, it's not too bad. Well, Mick, I saw something. Mick lives, for those that don't know, most do, Mick lives in Ireland. And I saw something I thought I'd never see the other day. And that was a loyalist and a unionist walking down street, hugging each other in Belfast. Crazy times. Crazy, crazy times. But to be fair, I think our Prime Minister, when he can be asked getting back off holiday, has to resign. He's an idiot. Goes on, does a speech about his Muslim brothers. Fully not racist. But goes on TV doing it at a time when he should have kept dumb. He should never use them words, our Muslim brothers. He should have just said, "It's time for us to get together," or something. The man's a fucking idiot. He has to go. But he did that, and it's partly him, with that speech, that's kicked off all the rioting. It's partly at his balls at his feet. And then he pisses off on holiday after he's set everyone off rioting. The man's a buffoon. They have to get shut of him. I think my school cap just fell out, Valleys. Just give it a quick comb. I think my school cap just fell out. And a piece of the first girlfriend's Chewy. Yeah, there's squirrels in there and everything. Squirrel! Or is it that? Squirrel! Today I've been a bit bored. I just have to finish the finish the border on that. I paint Warhammer every now and again. That's the latest one. Necron, which is basically, oh, it's basically robots, if you will, or robot skeletons, whatever you want. Excellent, Valleys. Well, I've got all my baseboards joined. You may have seen the video, but I've got all my baseboards joined now. So I'm going to start track laying and planning what I'm doing on it. Yeah, they're good to do. They're good fun. I might, I shouldn't really show it, but I've just bought. I'll just go and get it. I'll be honest, it's heavy. It's a very heavy set. Look! Oh. Yeah. I've just bought the Skaven side set, and that is, it's astronomical and it's good value. There's what, let me tell you, well, on the back, there's all them figures in it. There's all them in it. And that was for sorry in a minute, how many? There's 74 miniatures in it, and that were 160 quid. So by the time you finished reckoning it up, 74 miniatures at Warhammer's price, you're talking under £2 each. You just can't refuse it. It is an excellent set, though, and the sculpts are beautiful. Good evening, Paul. Good to see you. Yeah, but that Skaven side, it's a beautiful set. And it's a low price at the moment. 160. The guy in shop said, I can see it going up to 250, 300. Which I can, for the amount of figures you get in it. Plus you get the other stuff as well, the gaming board, all the books and everything. It's an excellent value for money. I've got loads, though. I've got loads of stuff. I've got 100% bargain, Jessica. Yeah, I've got some of the. Well, I've got a box of remnants and metal bits, and I might put them on eBay and flog them. There's always scratch builders who'll say, "Come, I built one from the scratches the other day. I built that one from scratch stuff. A priest guy, some sort of priest. He's metal for old weight to him. I sawed a I sawed an arm off something else because he had an arm missing. The arm with a skull. The arm with a skull on a stake is off something else from the shoulder down, as you can see, but it works. It works the fantasy figures, so you can say anything. But yeah, I do all sorts of I enjoy my modelling. I've done the Tiger one, the Airfix gift set. I did that the other day. I've done it's an F-80 starfighter, not starfighter, shooting star, a US Air Force one. The old Airfix kit. I did one of them the other day. I didn't do myself any favours though. I sanded all the raised panel lines off it and carved them in with a Tamiya panel line scriber. That thing. Like carving them all in. Something to do, I suppose. But it's a nice kit. Now it's finished. I'll put it... I might go in sorting my models cabinet in tomorrow. Smash some of the old geriatric ones up and make room for new ones. I could probably put them on eBay, I suppose, and sell them. You might get somebody somewhere buy them. But yeah, some nice. I've been buying kits lately. I've got all sorts. I love my old Matchbox kits, so I've got a couple of them. I've wanted to do that for a while. The old flying can openers, Phantom. I've seen it back in the day. I saw a few of them low level, leaving black soot trails behind them. Some people have said, no, you didn't. They didn't. Yeah, they did. If you reckon Phantoms didn't leave black soot trails behind them, you didn't watch them. You never saw them. And I've got that one. I've always wanted to build that one again. A Vietnam Corsair. And because, see, this is where kit buying takes you. This is where this sort of shit takes you. Because I got a Corsair, and it were in the Air Force colours, I didn't really want the Air Force colours. I wanted a naval one. But Matchboxes wasn't the naval version. So I ended up buying Italieri's naval version. It was a beast, the RM1 on the old Ark Royal. They dropped one of them into the drink off the front of the carrier. One of the Phantoms. Or was it a Phantom? No, it was a Buck. They dropped a Buccaneer into the drink off front of the Phantom. I forget what the reason was. Off the front of the Ark Royal, rather, I should say. I forgot what the reasoning was, but it went in. Yeah, you can actually build on the Matchbox one. They actually give you the parts and the decals to do the RN one. And you've got decals for 2 RAF ones. I think one's the fighting cocks and one's flying can openers. I'll just have a look. Oh no, it's not the fighting cocks, it's 41 Squadron. But yeah, I definitely, or is it? I can't remember the number for the fighting cocks. I'll just have a look. What number would, just see if I were right. Yeah, no, it isn't. Fighting cocks are 43 Squadron. And I don't even know whether they'd have been equipped with Phantoms. I think they were. I think my hazy memory serves me correct. They did have Phantoms. But yeah, I think they were in. I think they withdrawn about 1990 or something. I know they saw some of the last service they saw were over at Falklands. But they're still in service with some people. They turned up at Riot last week, a couple of Phantoms. So what a design, still running to this day. Still going. Not a bad aircraft considering when it was first delivered. One of the guys that took delivery to it with it to his squadron, he went, hell, it's been delivered upside down. Brutal. I used to love some of the stuff test pilots come out with. About certain aircraft. I forget which aircraft it was that they were talking about, but one of the test pilots said, getting into the aircraft is almost impossible. I recommend they make it impossible. Yeah, very funny, some of them. Yeah, but you look at some of the stuff they did. Some of the stuff Winkle Brown did. He must be one of the guys that's flown the most types of aircraft going. He even flew the Messerschmitt Comet. And he said, and in one of them, he said, if anything went wrong with the fuel, you didn't get back to the ground in time to save yourself. He said it had dissolved you in a few minutes. The fuel, if you got fuel splashed on you, you were finished. It dissolved you. Whoever thought of that? And then they put the fuel tanks right next to you. So if it had ever had a bullet go through the cockpit, the pilot had just been dissolved. Yeah, that is feasible, Valleys. The first engine Stukas ran with were a Rolls-Royce Jumo engine. Yeah, so we actually supplied Germany with the first engines for the Stuka. Yeah, that was the first fitting the Stuka, Rolls-Royce Jumos. What do you think? What were we thinking? They did indeed. They had a couple of Spitfires. They even used to shadow the Americans in captured B-17 bomber, because a lot of the B-17 formation said, "Who were that flying with us?" And were it KG 400? I think they were KG 400, the experimental flight. It's difficult. It's a difficult question, that, which one would have won, because they were both very equally matched. I reckon the Spitfire with an ME-109 engine could have been better in combat, I don't know. Because the injection of the German engine had got rid of the one main problem the Merlin engine had. So yeah, it had got rid of the injection engine. It had got rid of the Achilles heel the Spitfire had. It'd have been interesting, because the Spitfire could have just piled into a dive without worrying. Yeah, it weren't so much a problem with inverted flight, though, is it? Well, yeah, it was, because you had to have gravity-fed carbs. But it were more a problem with diving if they were trying to evade capture or evade getting shot down, whatever. They had to do that peel away movement where they kept fuel in the bottom of the carb. Whereas if you're in a 109, you could just dive out the way, no messing. Maybe it's debatable which would be better, really, isn't it? It is a toughie, that. I know they asked on all these interviews and everything, and all the chats, because he were good friends with Douglas Bader after, I think. But Adolf Galland, they asked him, who did he think had won the Battle of Britain, and he said it was a draw. He said England never particularly won, which it's the truth of the matter, really. He has a very good point. He had a very good point, Galland, because they had the men and equipment and everything to keep going till they'd exhausted us out of aircraft, because they were roughly equal aircraft. But what they did, the Germans, they just moved equipment to other areas. They withdrew. They weren't beaten, they withdrew. They went, "Oh, it don't matter," and moved to other theatres. Yeah, we just survived it, but if it had been a prequel to Operation Sea Lion and they'd gone through with it, I think things could have been a lot different. I do. I think things could have been a lot different. I mean, it didn't. End of the day, it was what it was. It run as it did. But if the Germans hadn't made as many mistakes as they did do, we were very fortunate some through poor planning, but because equipment wise and everything, yeah, us and Americans had some good stuff. But I've got to hand it to the German. They were years ahead of us in stuff they weren't doing. Germans were on the edge of space travel. Well, they did. They were on space travel. They had the V2 rocket. And that, once the war were over, the scientists that were working on that were split between America and Russia in a deal. Russia took half and America took half. America got Von Braun, which led to NASA and Apollo 11. So, yeah, there were leaps and bounds ahead, the Germans. Certainly ahead of anything the Americans and British were doing. They were very clever at the time. They just put it to the wrong causes, really. If they put it to better causes, they'd have been ahead of America and everyone now, the Germans. They'd have been well ahead because of the stuff they were doing at the time. A lot of people criticised the Nazis, and yeah, I fully agree with it. They went about it the wrong way. It's never a good way to go about it. But some of the stuff that were good for mankind that they come out with, they introduced the welfare state, vivisection, they introduced vaccines, and there was all sorts. Rockets, rocket travel was that a necessity? In fact, just by luck, if it weren't for the Telemark raid, they'd have probably had the nuclear weapons first. So that's food for thought as well. Because there were only the hard water that stopped them from having nukes. Frightening thing is, though, at that time and that age, where would they have done a practice detonation? I suppose, thinking logically about it, they're not going to do it in their own country, so they'd have probably practiced with Britain. Who knows? Or one of the other European countries like France, or you don't know. Just somewhere that's a bit away from your own doorstep. Yes, Scapa Flow. You know, that's another interesting thing, Scapa Flow. The ships that are down there, until recently, they were still being used. Cox and Danks in Manchester, strangely, were in Manchester scrapyard, had the rights for salvaging from Scapa Flow, and there's a reason behind it. Until very recently, I think they still might use it from there. But they used metal from that site, and it's expensive because of certain properties. Spot on, Valleys, spot on. non-irradiated metals on the German Grand Fleet. It's been underwater, so it's not been irradiated. And that's it. It's used in medical equipment where they don't want background radiation in it. Go to the top of the class, valleys. But yeah, there was that reason they were taking it. But there's so many things when you look at what the Germans did. For society as a whole, yeah, they had wrong. And they did do a lot of it in the concentration camps, which even today, people question whether they should use it in medicine and question the validity because it was discovered in the concentration camps. But you can't put back in life what happened in them concentration camps. You can never do anything about it. And if it's a discovery that's for the good of medical science, why isn't it being used just because it was discovered there? If it's for the good of, yeah, there were evil ways and everything, but it's been discovered. Why can't you use it for the good of man? It weren't all bad, just evil ways they did it with. It's a difficult ethical question, fellas, but if your daughter were dying, or whatever, if you have kids or a wife or whatever, and they were dying, and they said to you, we have this cure here and it'll make them better or whatever, do you want to use it because it was designed in a concentration camp or discovered in a concentration camp? What are you going to say? Hell, I'd say bring it on, use it. You'll never be able to erase what happened. You'll never be able to, but you've got to look at it also. There were terrible ways of doing it, but they did a lot of good for medical science. And why shouldn't that be used just because it was discovered in concentration camps? I mean, people listen to ABBA's records, and they're very, very popular. Hugely popular, ABBA. Every middle-of-the-road person what listens to them, Jews will love them everywhere. Yet Frida, the girl, was a baby from the German breeding program. They actually took girls and took them. They were a huge building. I forget where it is, but they had a huge building, and they took girls there. And they used to have the German soldiers visit and anyone from the Aryan race, and they bred them. They didn't have any say in the matter. The women, they bred them. And Frida out of ABBA is one of them girls, one of the babies from that program. So it reaches out far and wide. I used to work with a woman from one of the concentration camps. She still had a tattoo, a number tattooed on her arm from the camps. But I worked with Jewish people. And I was talking to one of the lads one time. I said, you know something? I said, you lot, you all buy Mercedes and BMW cars. I said, you do realise the German? And he went, what's done's done, that was a different generation. And I suppose, yeah. I mean, I'm probably older school. I'm like, no, I could never forgive what they did. But him, he's He were a different race and he's Jewish, so yeah, it is now. It's a difficult one because this one I'll say it now, I support the rioting, but not for the reasons you might think. I don't view that every Muslim's the same. I don't view that because there's a lot of good ones in them. But there are a certain percentage that aren't good for our country. And Keir Starmer, that man's a fool. He's done the most stupid speech going. And it's not an hatred of Muslims, really. It's an hatred of Islam and the way they behave in the Islam nutters. But the trouble is as well, they're not stopping. There's loads of things Starmer's done and it's all pissed the country off. And he should never have done them because they should have had the intel that had a word in his ear and said, don't do that, you dickhead. Because they should have known, intel would have known that it's a powder keg ready to blow, and they should have said to Starmer, shut the fuck up. And he's not. He's gone out there and gone, I stand with my Muslim brothers. Just after 3 little girls have been killed at a nursery class, and no matter which way you look at it, people are going to think that's a terrorist fucker. And the media doesn't help because the media's turned round and they've said, he's Welsh. Well, people aren't stupid. He's not Welsh. He's not got a bloody Davy lamp and hard hat and a donkey jacket. He isn't Welsh. Now, it may be 1st Jan, but this is where a lot of problems are lying in the country. You're being hoodwinked all the time by the media and government. That's not the point, Valleys. How do we know? Yeah, he's born in Wales. That's not the issue. He's 1st Jan and where he's come from, and it's a well-known fact, the 1st Jan, they don't feel like they belong because they don't think they belong in England, but they don't feel they belong where the parents come from either. So they feel the outsiders on both sides. And this is stuff they're not approaching. The government isn't approaching it. And it's leading to a lot of anonymity. Okay, I can't even say it. Anonymity. Oh, I give up. But it's causing a lot of friction between people. And they're saying it's not terror related. I'm sorry, but I don't buy somebody taking the time to get a taxi. Bear in mind, mental illness. Why didn't he attack something local? Why didn't he just walk out of the door, walk round to his nearest place and attack who were there? That was planned for the impact. I don't care what anybody says. That was a planned attack. It wasn't mental illness. Mental illness doesn't plan things. It just happens. He's sat down and he's planned that. Now it's who's behind it then. Is it his parents? Has he been groomed or whatever? Because he's gone out, he's took the trouble to phone a taxi, know where that meeting was, who it was that were there. He's done his intel on it, and he's gone there. That's terrorism. It's not meant. I work in mental illness. If somebody goes in mental illness, it's who's around them at the time. That's a sat down and planned attack. Hi Lee, how you doing? Luke, sorry. How you doing? Sorry I got your name mixed up there. I've been fishing this week with a lad called Lee. Good trip it was as well. I caught a crayfish and I ended up going, what the fuck's that? But that's where the problem lies, Valleys. That's where there's a lot of problems in it that are just being skirted round at the moment. But I fully support a lot of the looting because the government's dishonest with you. The media's being dishonest with everyone. The British public's being ignored. They cancelled plans that they had underway to deport illegals, which, why should illegals come first and be housed in hotels when there's genuine legal immigrants trying to get in that are being knocked back? They know where they've come from, they know their background, they know their jobs. Why are they getting knocked back? Why do these people spend £1,000 on over on a dinghy and people shipping and everything, or a few thousand even, they're spending to get across the channel when you can get a flight for 50 quid and come in the front door and get a visa and apply to stay for a while? Why are they shipping over on dinghies if they don't want you to know their backgrounds? And that's a big problem, Valleys. It is indeed at the moment. Like I say, I don't mind anyone. But I'm not having all these illegals that you don't know who they are. You've not a clue who you're letting in. And they're pushing in front of many legal immigrants that are educated. I worked with a girl, a Greek girl, for instance, an immigrant. She was fully qualified from Greece as a theatre nurse. And the NHS wouldn't accept her qualifications from Greece. And they made her go to university again in this country because they wouldn't accept her Greek qualifications. What's that about? Exactly, Luke. The local school to me, local high school, we'd had a lad there the other day, and I can't do out because it'd make me a bastard apparently. But there's a tall lad there, and he's playing about with 14-year-old schoolgirls, and he had a fucking beard on him like Billy Gibbons. Schoolboy my ass. And people are placing them in kids' schools. And they wonder why people are getting pissed. 100% wrong, Luke. 100%. And people are wondering why the country's got pissed off. All the do-gooders. All the do-gooders. And the problem with all the do-gooders, and I've said it for many years, most of them are middle and upper class with nothing better to do. They live out in the sticks, so they don't live anywhere near the problems they're creating. They've got plenty of money. They can, if anything happens like this, like Starmer's done, cause wide-scale rioting, and he's pissed off on holiday, gone to another country. We've got to, Luke, it's overdue. The country has to stand up to it now before it's too late. I've been saying this for months, there's going to be blood on the streets. I'm not wrong. It's starting now. I said that 10 years ago when they were ignoring the problems. But it wouldn't be heeded. They'll all turn round and say, no, you're a racist. Well, who's the racist now? It's happening. And it's not because people are racist, it's because they're pissed off. They're pissed off with all the time. Every time there's a terrorist incident. Like Southport, it's happened again in Southport. The authorities saying, well, he were known to us. Why didn't you do something then? If he's known to you, why weren't he being watched? Why haven't you done something? Nobody ever asks them. And we've got two-tier police now in this country. There were wide-scale rioting in Leeds. They were setting buses on fire and everything. They left them alone. They didn't say boo to a ghost to them. Left them alone, let them get on with it. It happened in Part Hartlepool last week. They were beating them with sticks. They were setting dogs on them. They were charging them. Big brave lads against your own. It's one religion can do what they want, another one no, and it's no good anymore. You've got to be treating people equally, not treating one section favourably, which they are doing. 100%. I'm frightened for anybody with a kid now. I've talked to girls, women with kids. One were an African woman one time I worked with. And this is going back over 10 years ago. She warned me 10 years ago when all these boats started coming over and coming in trucks and sneaking over in trucks. She said, I'm scared for my kids' future because these people coming over aren't nice people. I've got to admit, I don't support any religion, Valleys. They're all made up. Even my own religion. I'm Church of England. All Church of England is a church that were invented by Henry VIII because the Catholics wouldn't allow him to divorce. They're all made up at one stage or another for whatever reason man deemed it necessary to invent it. They are all made up religions. And they'll argue, oh, my religion is this. No, it isn't. It's non-existent. They don't exist. Behave yourself. You're arguing with people for something that doesn't exist. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. The trouble is, though, the biggest problem is if you did get rid of religion, there'd still be differences that people would argue and fight about. So where do you go? But religion is. I've watched it and I've met some of the nicest people I've met have been atheists, and some of the vilest people I've met have been churchgoers. Make of that what you will. Yeah, for sure, values. We are. We're very tribal. I reckon they should just allow fighting at football matches again. Just go footy on a Saturday and beat the shit out of each other there. Like the good old days in the 70s. Yeah, but I remember years ago, right? I don't know if anybody on here will remember Bolton. Bolton in the 70s when Wanderers played near the town centre. Wanderers' ground were very near town centre. As was Bury's, but I'm not going into that. There's a lot of ill feeling in our time with that. But Wanderers, it were very near the town centre. And Saturday, it was something else. When football came out on a Saturday, the town centre was teeming with people. Oh, it were overrun, all waiting for buses and going for the train. Like, it were a beautiful place in 70s Bolton, but look at it now, it's very run down. The town centre's had a... If you want a kebab or a phone cover, it's a fantastic place. If you want out anything past that, go somewhere else. It's just gone as a town centre. And I hate to say it, our shopping town centres go insane. Bread and circuses, like in the Roman empires. Hey, we were Christians, we get thrown to lions. I think that was sporting, though. I think I'd give a lion indigestion. Hey, our town, our derby days with Rochdale, and Rochdale and Bury fans hate each other. They do, they hate each other, Rochdale. I don't think we're that bad with Bolton, although I went to a Bolton match a few years ago, and I was there supporting Bury. And there was my old boss I used to work with was there supporting Bolton, because he were a Bolton fan. Anyway, we beat Bolton 1-0. And it were a Worthington Cup match for Cup. And come out and I saw Simon. I said, well, how'd you like that, Simon? He was, oh, he's pissed. But yeah, he were proper wound up because Bolton lost. Yeah, Bury beat them. My mate were even more wound up. There were only one goal in the whole match. And just before half time, he said, I'm going for a slash and a pint. Now it's happening. And just just as he was standing in the urinal, he heard the yay! Oh, stadium. 2 minutes before half time, they scored, and he were in bogs. I were in hysterics. I said, you missed it. It were a cracking goal. Because we were right behind the goals where they scored. I said, you missed a cracking goal, mate. Only one of the match. You were proper pissed. Yeah, you used to get that at matches, Valleys. They'd wear all the bent. All in 80s for Bury fans, it were all Ben Sherman stuff and everything. Like they were mostly mods. I knew the lads that went for fighting. They were actually, if you knew them and got on with them, they were a funny crew. They were a funny crew of lads. Like, I were in Interchange one night in our local town. And one of the lads that went to the matches, and they were all friends, the lads I hung out with, and they went matches together, and my cousin were one of them. And I'm stood there chatting to this lad, my cousin. And I'll never forget it. It was a lad called Anthony Aki. He was stood behind him, and all of a sudden, it was when we used to have, the skinny jeans, the stretch jeans. And you just saw my cousin Melvin. If you saw him, he had a question mark above his head. His eyes filled like that, then you could see him thinking, what the fuck's going on? As he was talking to me. And then he went, my legs are getting warm at back. And he turned round, and in the middle of the bus interchange where everyone were catching buses, he had his John Thomas out and he were peeing down the back of him. Down the back of his legs. And Anthony just saw him look at him. And he run off, and Mel were, bastard, I'm going to kill him, and he run off after him. And they spent the next half hour, the things with youth, they spent the next half hour with him running after him, trying to catch him through all the market stalls, through all the market. Oh, funny days. Yeah. They were the days. Yeah, but they were a funny group of lads. One night, they were a set of swines as well, don't get me wrong. One night, I was sat in Interchange with my girlfriend at the time, and we just heard, boosh! And woo, 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 shop alarm going off. And then you saw a couple of them run past, loaded up with tracksuits and bloody t-shirts. They'd only bloody kicked the sports shop window through and wrapped up bloody t-shirts and tracksuits. You're thinking, oh, Jesus, what am I into here? Like, I never got involved doing stuff like that with them. I kept out of it. I just knew them as friends. But the thing is, if you're ever pulled after you say, don't know, I never saw anything, officer. I only know I'm not involved myself. And I'm not having a men, but Jesus, funny. I used to work with one lad, an ex-Hells Angel, Valleys. Lovely lad now, he's passed away, bless him. And ironically, he passed away through having dental work done. He got an infection and it killed him. But we're in work one day, and it was just after dinner, we're just getting ready to go back in work. And I'm sat with one of the girls, Dorothy. God, that's another one. She's dead as well. Jesus. Run over by a truck, bless her. But yeah, we sat there, a few of us in entrance, and Yorkie comes back from dinner, and he walks across the car park with his penis out. And I turned round to Dot. I said, Dot, because they used to work at Salford together. And I said, Dot, Yorkie's walking across the car park with his penis out. And plain as day, she goes, yeah, don't worry about it. He does it all the time. I said, well, that's not helping, is it? And she says, he does it all the time. Don't worry about it. I said, I've seen it loads of times. Yeah, so he did that regular, apparently. Yeah, he was a really nice lad as well. Excel's Angel, and they get a bad rap because, don't get me wrong, don't piss him off. If somebody had pissed me off, he'd have been on my side and he'd have been loyal and helped me, but never piss him off. If you're on good terms with him, he'd do anything to help you. He was a salt of the earth lad, but don't piss the fella off. And he did a lot of stuff for charity as well. And he had good ethics, because one time he heard about a bloke smoke. It was his ex-missus, and he heard about a bloke going round there smoking pot in front of his child, so he beat the shit out of him. Yeah, that'd have been a bit. I got barred from Old Trafford cricket ground. I used to work for a compressor company making compressors, and we were setting this exhibition up there of the compressors we made and everything. And what it was, we were using the lift to take them up to an exhibition suite they had. Now, what happened? This lift broke down, so we couldn't use it, and we still had to do it. So we worked out another route to take. And unfortunately, the route we had to take was across the members' bar. And we were going across the members' bar with a pallet truck. And they were not impressed. All the old members that were there, they were spitting false teeth and splitting the colostomy bags and everything. They were going ape shit. So when I took the exhibition down and I'd loaded it in onto the truck so I could drive the truck back to work, loaded all the compressors into a truck, and just as I was leaving, he said, don't come back. But I don't know what they were uppity about. I had my lunch in the members' lounge and watched a bit of cricket. I don't really like cricket, but it's better than work, isn't it? Not something I'd pay to go and see anyway. My mate did, and he nearly got banned. I forget who the England captain was at the time, but we were doing really bad. I forget who we were playing, but Crafty and my mate were at Old Trafford watching the cricket, and it was the England national team. and we were playing another country. And Crafty, he's a football fan most of the time. He's a Liverpool fan. And he sat there. He's sat there in St Old Trafford cricket ground, singing "We shit and we know we are, we shit and we know we are." And the England captain took time to come up, and he come over to the fencing and says, "Why don't you support us instead of insulting us?" And Crafty shouted back, "Well, give us something to fucking support then." So he walked off in and off after that. Total disrespect to the England captain, Crafty. Yeah, he didn't give a damn, that lad. But yeah, it's a nice enough place, but it's not something I'd go and watch. I can think of far better sporting events to go to than cricket. If you want to watch something, British Superbikes is far better. I can't get into I went to Formula One, and it's all right, and it's a day out, but I didn't find it that entertaining, really. Oh, an SD40. Is it a dash too? Hey, run what you want, Valleys. I've got shitloads of American stuff. Hang on, just on my ledge here. I've got one. Just on ledge here, I've got a New Haven. Got loads of American stuff here and there. And Continental. That's actually, I haven't got the chassis for that. I wish I had. It's a nice loco. French, unfortunately, but it's a nice loco. I've always liked them, the French electric locos. Just something about them I like. They were very French design. It was nice. I'd like to go to rallying in mid Wales or wherever. I'd like to go to an area of the track where they get all four wheels off the ground for photography purposes. I'd love to go and photograph rallying. I've got all geared up. I've got one of my cameras here. I might have one. There we go. That's my cheaper one of the two main ones I use. The Nikon D90. That's what I use for my videos and a lot of my stills work and stuff. It's very battered now. But I have a pro level one somewhere. Somewhere around that's a lot nicer. That gets more work for stills and stuff. Or if I go to track meets, I do more of me. Although having said that, my D90 still gets a lot of use. Yeah, Valleys, my mates just got An original Mark 1 RS 2000 in his garage. It's nice. I can't say I'm over enamoured with the colour. It's bright yellow with a bright orange RS 2000 body stripe or body panels on them, whatever you want to call it. I'm not over enamoured with the colour, but it's all genuine because we've been going round car shows last couple of days, last couple of months, and he's been looking at the RS 2000s and he's been going, that's not an original, it's a wish I was. That's not an original, it's a wish I was. He says, I know mine's original. Because there's certain body things on them that's only on genuine RS 2000s. And he's saying they aren't there with some of the ones that are masquerading as RS 2000s. But yeah, it's all much of a muchness now. To me, nowadays, a made-up one's every bit as nice as a genuine. Obviously, there's more desirability in the genuine article. But I wouldn't say no to any Mark 1 Escort, no. Or a Mark 2, and I had a Mark 2 Escort, I only give 25 quid for it. Bloody hell, if I had that same car in same condition now that I paid 25 quid for, I'd be paying about £3,000 for it now. And possibly upwards because it had a running engine, more or less altogether, a complete example. Don't get me wrong, it had a fairly extensive bit of rust, but by some of the standards today, it was easy stuff to repair. Yeah, they're nice cars. Yeah, I like my Mac. I think what makes them such a desirable car is they are a nice drive. They're light, they're porky, their handling's pretty sorted. They're a rear wheel drive. There's loads. I mean, nicest Escort I drove my mate's 1300 Sport. It was rarer, but they did the 1600 Sport, but they did a 1300. And he had a 1300 Sport Escort, and I drove that, and it were a nice drive, and he'd fully rebuilt and resprayed and everything that. Whiplash aerials. Happy days. I got nicked off a copper for having one of them on back of my motorcycle. Said, you daft fuck, are you bending round corners? You'll be whipping people on curb. I said, the mods have them on scooters. He said, just get it off. Yeah, but he was springing everywhere. He went apeshit, copper did. Yeah, because even on cars, you used to bend them over and secure the top front of the car or at the rear of the car, wherever you had the aerial mounting. You did. Bloody hell, if you left them sticking right up, they used to sway everywhere and whip everywhere. Happy days, they were funny. Excellent, Mick. I'll have a look at it after. Like I say, I've got one here. Where is it? It's not a phone, it's a Mercedes. I've never worked out what I want to do with it. But that's the one. It's a corgi. Never worked out what it is. Complete. I don't know. I might remove the thing on it, and I might do local council. I might do some local council decals. I don't know. It's got a corgi sticker on one door. But yeah, not a clue what to do with it. I'm just boxes and boxes of the things, really. Yeah, they are nice, the farm trucks, though. Never got to drive one. I've driven Mercedes up to the Actros tractor units. I've driven Renault Magnum tractor units. What else have I driven? I've driven a few different makes of tractor units. A few different makes of 17-ton rigids. Loads of 7.5 tonners. I used to mainly drive my recovery truck. Tippers were fun. I had a tipper slide sideways going down the entrance onto a motorway. I looked at back of me and my back end had slid across in front of another truck, and you could see the driver in it. His eyes were out on stalks. I got it back and he passed me going onto motorway. I bet he had to change his cacks at Nest Services. I was like, whatever, I didn't flap in slightest. And it was my truck that was going sideways down Slate Road. Because I hammered it, I should have known better, really. I hammered it round corner in the wet onto the Slate Road, and it must have been greasy. And it just did it, and the back end kicked out and just went. If he'd have had a load on, it wouldn't have done it, but it was empty, so slid out. Yeah, a load would have kept its footprints on the ground. You'd have had the weight down, you'd have cleared the water better. So what have others been up to that are in at the moment? What have you been up to this weekend, Luke? I've already explained it. If you've not heard, you've seen my video, Luke. I've been to a model railway exhibition. That was fun. Had a nice mix of model railways there and an average mix of traders. Didn't really scenics for traders. The scenics were undersupplied, and I think now though, because so many people buy online, I don't think traders do exhibitions as much as they used to, because I think they get all the trade offline now, which is sad. Oh, that's cool. Funny you should say that. Luke. It's not an MGB though, that's an MGC. I've been using it for testing paints on. Mainly a Createx metallic. Well, a pearlescent purple. But I've got plans for that. Or an MGB. I'll have to get a shift on sorting them things for you as well, Mick. I've split the body. In fact, I might parcel it up tomorrow, Mick, and post it out possibly Tuesday. I'm stopping in tomorrow, but I might go out and about on Tuesday. If I go out and about Tuesday, I'll post you some goodies over. But I've got a planned colour for my MGB. I saw one at a car show and it were absolutely stunning. It was the nicest colour I've ever seen on an MGB. Full stop ever. To the point I might consider getting an MGB and painting it in it and getting some Ross style wheels on it. It weren't even that outlandish a colour. It was just a colour you don't often see on cars. And definitely not something you see. It was an MGB colour, but you don't see a lot in it. And it was, what's the best way? I'll post a picture of it later on my Facebook, Luke, so you can see it. But it's like a very pale peppermint sort of aqua colour. And it just looks the dog's bollocks on an MGB. Oh, excellent. What scale? What scale are you doing, Luke? Nothing like a Dodge Charger. Are you doing it on the old Matchbox one or something else? The Matchbox king size. Yeah, you're basing you generally on the Matchbox king size one, Luke. Oh, nice scale. There you are. If you've not seen my t-shirt, I'll show it you. It's the Beagles. I love it. Very nice. They're a nice make, stuff. And I've every confidence we all level of Workley. It'll be stunning. Have you ever thought of doing some of the ones like, there's one model, I don't know whether I've saved pictures of it, I'd have to have a look. I know I've got models, there was one at Bolton Model Show. Somebody had made the model of the Gulf Porsche car crashing in the Le Mans film. The Gulf Porsche crashes I think it's the Gulf Porsche crashes in the film Le Mans. but somebody made a model of it, and they actually made it exactly as that car on the film broke up. And another one I've seen, they've done the Mad Max, what they called, Mad Max Interceptor, one of the yellow ones, and they made that as they made the scene as it had just crashed out of the caravan it went through. So that's parts everywhere, but they've done it mid-air with all the parts flying over it. Very effective, very impressive, like a stop motion of where it mid-air and bits flying everywhere. And that were on model scene somewhere a bit ago. Very impressive. I reckon it'd be good, if you did small scale like 1/64 and you did a crash scene and you got extra brass parts, like I've read into how to make your own brass parts, but if you planned it out right and everything, you could probably have two vehicles hitting each other. And because it's in moulded resin, if you did layers right, you could set parts flying off in the resin. And then when you made the resin block and sanded it and polished it all, it'd just look like they were in mid-air. Because you wouldn't need anything to hold them up. They'd be in the resin casting. It'd look really good. Because I've seen it done with boats and that, but I reckon you could do it with cars. And if you set it in a resin block, you could have windscreens popping, door mirrors popping off, bloody wheels popped off, grills, bumpers, whatever parts flying through the air. And you could set them in the resin a certain distance. I reckon I might have a go at that, buy some clay casting resin. Work on Lee. Lee, I've done it again. That's through going fishing with Lee at midweek. And it begins with L. I'm getting on a bit. I've told you already anyway, the bastards offered me senior discount. I thought, bollocks to her, I'm taking it for that cheek. Saved a £5 on my sandwiches for fishing outing. But yeah, Luke, I work on Prince. It's like that tank I did the other. I weather in layers. What I do, I weather in layers. Now that one. There's so many ways to do it. It's an odd thing. If you want rust on it and thick rust, you can paint it in areas first. Paint it on. And then you can use about 2 or 3 different shades. You can even put a bit of sand or talc in it to give extra texture. And then, where is it? I've got some. I might have moved it somewhere. I know I've got some somewhere. There we go. Get some of that chip in medium. And if you put that over the top of the rust, then spray your colour on. Then you reactivate it a bit with a bit of water, and you can chip it how you want it, and it'll show the rust underneath. I'll just go and get tiger I've done, because I did a German tiger, and originally German tigers, they're all painted Panzer Grey originally from factory, but the ones for desert, they sprayed over in desert sand, but it chipped off easy and left them with a grey showing. I'll just go and get it. I'll have to wobble through. Oh, God. Sorry about that. I had to go for a Lillian. But, yeah. There we go. There's the tiger. And I mixed my own Panzer Grey, and it's, with hindsight, it was probably a bit of a too light grey, but it works. You can see it where it's been chipped off. And that's that. You just put it. I've lost it again. Never had it in first place. You just put that in between your two colours. So if you do rust, and you can texture up your rust, spray your main colour over it, then you can chip it off. And it looks the dog's testicles. I'm going to eventually, I've got some old Airfix kits, and I want quite a few with the mineral wagons. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Do I have a mineral wagon? Sure I do. Although I might not. I might be thinking I have one and I don't. I do. I have one or two, I think. But the old mineral wagon, and I'll do that. I'll rust it up and weather it. I may do some dents in it, because I want them for a scrapyard train. Used to have a scrapyard train that ran from Sidings, where my signal box was, to Cox and Danks again, scrapyard. Yeah, it's only cheap. I'm sure there's a paint set you can get it in, Lee. I'm sure there's a Vallejo paint set that has it in. A lot of the time, I buy my paints now in sets because it works out cheaper. I got this set other day, Vallejo one. I might be wrong. I think it was 15 quid. But that's it. And 2, 4, 6, 8. See that set? It has all your different. It has matte varnish, gloss varnish, and satin varnish. So you can do all your different finishes on it. But that'll just look at me eBay. see what price I give for that. Just be 1 second. Won't take me long going to my eBay. Purchase history. Because I bought another paint set since after that one. Hang on. It works out at $23.95 and there's 2, 4, 6, 8, so 16 pence. If you worked out at £2 a bottle, that's 32 quid. And that's the total, the order total, so that includes postage. So it works out at, hang on, let me think, 16.32. It works out at less than 2 quid a bottle. So, he were off eBay, Luke, for God's sake. Done it again. Sorry, Luke, mate. Yeah, it's on eBay. I scooched around and very cheap. It's, like I say, it's less than 2 quid a bottle. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong at all at that price. I'll send you a link if I can. Evening, Mark, how are we? What have you been up to at weekend? I've already asked questions to others about that. There's so many ways to make pastels. You can use pastels. I delete all that. You can use pencil pastels. You can use oil pastels. I use artist pigment for mixing into paints. I use the raw pigment for weathering. There's so many things you can use. Tamia, for that one I've made, you can't see it so good now it's all together, but underneath there's the exhausts. There's 3 exhausts in the bottom and you can just see a blue tint to them and there's orange over the top. So it's like heat, metal that's been heated with hot exhaust. And that's actually a Tamiya set you'd use for jet exhausts and everything, that one. It's burnt red, burnt blue, and oil stain, so it's aircraft colours. It's more your jet pipe you'd use that for. But yeah, there's so many weathering things. Me too, Luke. Mark's not said what he's up to. He might be a ninja. Yeah, there's so many methods you can use on weathering it, and they can all be used to good effect. One of my top tips, though, well, 2 of my top tips, is look at a photograph of what you want to weather and what condition you want it in. Because everything that's built mechanical, they'll all weather the same, more or less. Because you get dirt that sticks in the same areas. They rust in the same areas. Because they... Excellent. Excellent clearing. I wish I could. Every time I go out, I'm buying. I didn't do too bad. I only got one loco this weekend. I come home. I come home with a Class 87 City of London. And I weren't happy. Then I've ordered some brass plates off eBay for it. Yeah, ain't that always the case? Checkbook Charlie. That's what my mate called his missus anyway. Checkbook Charlie. He said once his bank card went missing for a fortnight. I said, why didn't you report it sooner? He said the thieves were spending less than me missus. Excellent. What sort of loco you get, Mark? Oh, good. That's my next step. I'm gonna want shed loads of DCC. In fact, to be honest, for what I want to build, I want to be DCC sound. So I'm going for sound chips for mine and lighting. But anyway, that's all by the by. I'll get some track laid now my boards are in order. I might actually start on track lane tomorrow. Oh, that's nice. Excellent stuff, Valleys. Beautiful. Oh, you jammy get a Dynamisys. A Dynamis for 40 quid. Bargain. Bargain, dude. I nearly bought an Hornby Class 90 yesterday, but the guy didn't take card. But it very nearly come home with me. But I nearly bought Threat Connection, the SNCF liveried one, because I already have Vrak the binding and the German one. What's German one called? I already have the Dutch and the German. I just need the French for this. And they're not Hornby ones. They've been done by Pro. But I want to buy the Fox transfers now. I'll just buy a normal 90 and do it myself for my channel. I'll get the Fox transfers. I already have the nameplates. Ah, right, I get you. Bachmann Dynamos. I were thinking of Dynamis, the actual controller. That would be a bargain for 40 quid. Excellent. Wheeling and dealing. I should probably put some stuff on eBay myself. I'm getting shoved out my living space with it, if I'm honest. I looked at it. It's bad when you look at a stall when you go to a model railway exhibition and you think, I've got more than this guy. Oh, so I was right. The dynamics controller. Yeah, I'd like one of them. I've got an Hornby Select. It's only very basic. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, Mark. It's a good piece of kit. I want some, but 40 quid's outstanding. Well, I want, and it's because of Mick, me buddy in Ireland. We went on a sci-fi weekend in Birmingham, and on my way back I saw Northampton Saints, a class 66, and it was all in a car train. And Hornby have released it. Well, it should be out now, unless it's delayed. So I think that'll be my next new purchase. I'm very tempted by it. It looks cracking. In fact, I might get that next month, next payday. See how my money goes. I've been stupid spending this month. But it is tempting. Very tempting. Bloody hell, that's flown by rapid. We're on 2 hours and 6 minutes, fellas. That's gone by rapido, mentioning train makers. But yeah, that was my main delight this weekend, though. I was easily pleased. Box full of scalpel blades. Especially because I can't get them on eBay. Because the world's a mad place now. Can't even get butt plugs on there anymore. What? No. Strictly a one-way street, foo-foo. But yeah, it's a mad place. You look at some of the stuff they won't sell on eBay and you think, you can get them in shops. Oh, like that, I got him from a railway exhibition. If I can find me other scalpel knife, which I'm suspecting I've thrown it out, but if I can find me other handle, I've got some other blades as well. Although they were dwindling down, so but yeah, when you turn round and you think, I can't buy craft knife blades on eBay for my hobby, but I can buy part of a Russian tank from the Soviet-Ukraine war. I can buy part of the tank or helicopter that's been blown apart. You think, where's the world going? I hope you're giving it a wash, Luke. Give it a good rinse under hot tap. Stum, nothing said. But yeah, it's I don't understand where we're going with some stuff. I posted a meme on Facebook. I forget what all the films were, but they were films dealing with all the out there ideas. Like, I don't know who's ever watched Idiocracy as a film. Like, you watch Idiocracy and you think, that is today. That isn't so far off the damn truth. You watch Idiocracy and he'd had Fahrenheit 451 or whatever it is, and Big Brother, and all the mad out there films where subjects were you're being watched and the dumbing down of society, and it all intertwined in the middle and said, this is where we're at. All these films overlooping in the middle, and that's where we are. And it's true. It's absolutely true. When we went to the exhibition yesterday in Leyland, there was a guy with burger van. He did a nice breakfast bar, actually, but that's besides the point. And he turned round and he says, I only deal in cold hard cash. I don't deal in anything else. He said, if you have cash, I prefer that first. And I hadn't been to bank really. He said, I've got the way and means for you to use card, but I prefer it if people give me cash, because he said, cash is king with me, I use cash. He said, many a time, he said, I carry a couple of grand on me. He says, because many a time I've been somewhere and there's been a deal and I've gone, I'll have it, and they've said, are you sure? And he said, and I've just stood there and they've looked amazed as I've counted money out of my pocket. Unfortunately, yeah, Valleys. Catch you during week, Mick. Nice having you along, buddy. Yeah, we've certainly got the one we deserve at the moment, Valleys. I told people, be careful what you wish for, I told them, don't vote Reform, all it'll do is give you a Labour government. Don't vote for Labour. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Tories either. But the Tories were just holding it together. And Labour's found out the job they have now. And I think they'll fail. In fact, they have failed. They've failed already. They're not even 3 weeks in, and they've got the typical country in a mess before they've even started this time. Every time I've known a Labour government, the country's been a mess at the end of the reign. This time they're starting as they mean to go on, I think. Like I said, Tories were far from perfect. I'll not deny it. They were far from perfect, but careful what you wish for. Indeed, Mark, 100%. I knew it would come in. Because the country were a tinderbox, and I knew Starmer as soon as he got in. He'd put it all round, and I knew it's not going to end up well. And the words he used, he should be shot for it. Catch you later, Luke. Good having you along. I'm going to be signing off in a bit anyway. we've done 2.25 hours now. I'm staying on for a bit longer, but I'll be going in a bit because I've got a nice little drink chilling in the fridge, and I'm off till Wednesday night, so no rush. But yeah, it was fully predictable, especially when he used the words he used. He got rid of the Rwanda plan. He's opened the door to immigration again. He wants closer links with Europe. And he turned round, and the worst thing he could possibly have done is using words like I stand with me Muslim brothers. You can't, at that time, after what happened to them kids, them were words he should never have used. Them were words he should never ever have uttered. He should have said, we'll have to stand together, or we'll have to get parties together and work out solutions. I don't think at the moment the country is that bad. I don't think it should be one party or the other. I think they should be working together and working out solutions. The one thing for sure is they can't go on as they've been going on. They've got to make change. They've got to make change on their immigration, pretty smartish. They've got to make change on the checks, for which ones of them are stopping here. They've got to have deportation plans. And they've got to be, instead of saying people were on a watch list, they've got to be going out and sorting them out before they become the issue. Not waiting till they've done something and say, oh, we were on our watch list. Well, you missed him, you divs. You absolute idiots. What's the point of having him on the watch list if you didn't watch him? Where is it you work again, Mark? Ain't gonna lie, I'm highly disappointed. I'm on nights for 2 weeks. Absolutely detest them. Well, I say I detest them. It's 2 weeks and they go quick enough, and we only do them every now and again. I'll probably not get them now for another 8, 12 months. But it's fucking graveyard shift, isn't it? You feel like a vampire. Oh yeah, you've got your own shop, haven't you, Mark? I keep forgetting. I'll have to have a look at your shop and your eBay. Look for you on eBay. If I see you on eBay, I'm always buying on eBay. I prefer dealing with people I know and like local shops. I might go out and see my mate at local shop on Tuesday. He's not open tomorrow, but I might have a mooch Tuesday. Excellent. I'll have a look. I'll have a look out, Matt. Have a mooch in. Oh. Bloody hell, the other day, I've got a sore butt at the moment. But the other day I were out fishing and sat on a fishing box. Jesus, I think I got pressure sores on my arse. Ah, cool. Do you just work in it, or is it yours, Mark? Ah, cool. Still good. Still good. A lot of the chaps that work in my mate's shop, I think they're old chaps, and I think they volunteer, to be honest. Cool. I might have had something off them at one point. In fact, I've bought so much stuff, I'd say it's guaranteed. I've bought some. I've only ever been banned by one shop. I had a dispute with a guy, and with hindsight, it's one of them things we both probably had a valid argument, but it probably went over what it should have done, and he barred us, which I weren't that bothered. It just, all it did at the time was piss me off because I couldn't get another. He had another one of those carriages, and I want to restore that one because I like the Suburban carriage, but he had another, I forget whose make it is, but it's a good old solid metal base, plastic sides, and a tin roof. It'll be nice restored, a nice Suburban coach, but yeah, we had a bit of a dispute. So he barred me from buying stuff off him. No, I forget what it is. It's not a Kit Masters. It's a metal base. As you can see, metal base, and hang on, screws holding the things on there. The axles are in there. Axles, bogies, I should say. But yeah, it's metal chassis, tin roof, and plastic sides. Hang on. Plastic ends as well. It's a nice little coach. It'll be nice. I think the detail's better than you can see there, but I think the paint's been put on very thick. So I think there's more detail than meets the eye, if you will, to it. So I think stripping the paint off, I'll put glazing on it. There are seats in it. There are seats and compartment dividers. So it's got potential. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, Valley. Not a clue. Not a clue. It's a nice metal. I like some of the old ones where you got, like the old Kit ones where you had all the brass door handles from and brass handles. I think they were the brass kits and you soldered them all together. Yeah, you will have. They're not common, but they're a very old coach and they're not common, but the thing is, the bogies are good on them and the coach is decent, so you can re-wheel them, put new couplings on. Because all you have to do for the bogies is put brass bearings in them, drill them and put brass bearings in, and drop your new pinpoint wheels on, give them a new lease of life. Because them in BR blue or BR blue and grey with a little diesel or whatever should look good. Or even if I do them they're an LMS carriage, so if I do them in LMS livery, I can run them with my LMS locals. Like a Ginty I'm going to be doing. I could run it with them in an LMS Crimson Lake and look good with that. I'm going to renumber that one. That should be nice. Yeah, they are nice, some of the all gauge stuff. It looks beautiful. Prices gradually. I remember years ago, probably the 90s, all gauge were a lot more expensive then than it is now. All gauge is dropping in price for a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's still bloody expensive for a lot of stuff. But it's nowhere near it was the expense it was at one time. Oh yeah, easy. Castle's easily going to be over a bag of. It's easily going to be over a bag of sand. Beautiful. Sorry, is nice. Thing is, as well, though, in that scale, you can paint the figures up that bit nicer as well. Put a driver and a fireman on that, and they'll paint up beautiful. That's it. You can just do that. Bit more level of detail. It's amazing. There's a difference. For sure. Tell you what I said. It's on my model railway exhibition video, but there were an absolute superb American Z gauge layout. And I couldn't believe it. I didn't realise so much stuff were done for Z gauge nowadays. At one time, going back to the 90s, there were practically nothing for Z gauge. There were only really Markling did it. But now some of the American locals he had, Southern Pacific and what do you call it, Union Pacific. Yeah, you work it out, really, Vallis. It's like me. I've got over 100 locos. If I condense that down, I'd easily buy a couple of ore gauge. Yeah, they're definitely cool. They're definitely cool, Mark. It was impressive, that layout. Like I say, it's on my latest video if you want to go and take a look. But I was impressed because it's such a small scale. It gives the wide open feeling that an American layout needs for the big intermodal trains passing through countryside areas. You need a big layout to give that feeling, and it works in Z gauge. I don't know, if you look at my video of that American Z gauge, they're running bloody near as damn it scale speeds. They were running on round slope. The biggest thing that gives it away the size of it, though, if you watch it regular, the containers on the intermodal get hell of a wobble. If you were stood inside one of the containers and it did one of its wobbles, you'd get beaten against side inside and have whiplash. Excellent. I've got a model kit one I want to do an unboxing on. I've just got a B-24 Liberator and Academy. And I might do an unboxing video on it tomorrow. I've collected some of the stuff I want together before I film the unboxing, because I want to really do the artist justice on the video, because I'm into my art as well and my aviation art. And one of my subjects I've always loved is nose art on aircraft. And this guy is one of my favourites. He was an outstanding artist. And he did nose art, and I don't know whether people know about aircraft kits or whatever, but there was one in England. He was one of the British squadrons of Liberators, and they were the Zodiac Squadron. And he finished 11 of them. He didn't quite finish off Taurus. He started it, but then the aircraft got moved. So he did start it, but it got moved on. But he did all 11 apart from Taurus. And I think Academy's released about 5 now. The one I've got to forget which one it is I have now. But I've already built Leo. Leo and Aries I've built already. Sorry, I know which one it is. It's me, my brother and my sister. My brother's Leo, sister's Aries, and I'm Libra, so I've got the Libra nose art, which is the new release. But it's not as it's good, but I've to review it and give it a fair chance. I think the decals were excellent in the old one. they were very near cartograph standard then in the 90s, so I don't think they'll have improved the decals. They may have a different supplier, but I don't think they'll get much better than they were already, because they were already excellent decals. That's to be seen. But this artist, he was fantastic. Like, each nose art piece, he's done the actual zodiac sign for it. Then he'll have the animal or whatever it is. Like Aries, and he'll have a female. He had a female in the biggest percentage of them. And Aries, it's a beautiful piece of work. He's got a girl and she's shearing a sheep, but she's in basque and stockings and everything. You know, parfait like the Varga girls. They were all into. But what a beautiful bit of art. You know, I'm too old and have too many disabilities now to follow plasmo, but I'll tell you something. I wish I'd acquired the skills I have now at a younger age. Like all the drilling and the etch brass and scratch building. I can do it, but I can't compete with plasmo. My disabilities won't allow me. Because that guy is outstanding. And he films it as well, which makes it doubly hard. Excellent. I'll have to have a look. I'll look at that. No, not at all creepy. Not at all creepy. I used to get a bit pervy, probably. I'll have to cover them, really. I'm not sure the rude part of it. I'll cover it up. But there used to be a company called Mascot Models, and they did some beautiful sculpts. And you had to trim them up, the white metal kits. But, I mean, you can imagine what she's doing, but they were gorgeous sculpts. I'm keeping her dignity. But yeah, just a bit on the rude side. Because they were made by a guy that was into fetishes like bonding and stuff. But again, he did sculpts. He did stuff like sculpts in the Varga style and dressed in the Varga style. And it's a valid point in modelling. I mean, the biggest part of blokes are interested in women. Rightly so. They're very easy on the eye. They're beautiful. If they weren't, we wouldn't. If we weren't, the human race would have died out. Well, unless you bring beer into the equation. That always has a lot to answer for. And bossy women. Yeah, that's Germany. It's like Peter Griffin said. What's wrong with you people? Excellent. You know what? I see no harm as a bit of light-hearted fun. Let's be honest. We all do it or we wouldn't be here. I don't understand them people that are, oh, that's terrible, oh, we'll never get up. Yeah, you did. You have a daughter and a son, don't be lying to us now, you know. You enjoyed it at one point. Hypocrites they are, some of them. I heard an awful story the other day, but I can't recount it. I can't recall it. You were a comedian and I nearly died laughing, but I can't tell it on here. I can't, honestly. Honestly, I can't recount that one. It is awful. He said that would get me a YouTube ban. Although I don't know, I heard the story recounted on YouTube, but it's probably best laying off it for this. Even I'd consider that too far. Yeah, you're right, dude. Some people, the way they go on, you'd think they've never done it. It's a human thing. It's like I work in medical profession and I work with disabled people. And one woman come up to me one day. She said, he's watching the babe station in there. I said, and? Said, well, he shouldn't be doing it. Said, and? She said, well, he can't do it. I says, you went into his room. She says, yeah, no. I said, did you knock? She went, well, no. Well, you're in his space. How old is he? Well, he's 30. Yeah. I said, it's a natural thing blokes do. Knock on his door and say, excuse me. I said, he's allowed to watch it. I can't tell him he can't watch it. I said, he's an adult. I said, treat him as an adult and treat him with respect. Knock on his door and say, excuse me. I spend most of my days dealing with fucking buffoons. Dealing with trouble from idiots. Good night, John. Bye. Not Mary Ellen. Bet there were more going on there than met the eye. A splinter in your sleeve musket. I'm not sure what that last word is, but I'm guessing it's a sexual organ. Maybe wrong. Sphincter. A splinter in the splinter in my sphincter. It's easier to say in German. Jesus. It is. It's easier to say in German. German. As the good old Stan Bowman would say, German. Yeah, night, Mark. I'll probably call it the devil. Yeah. The funniest one Stan Bowman did was when he was talking about the world World War II RAF fighter pilot. And he said he were a Polish lad. And every time he told it he were a different guy. He used to say sometimes it was Douglas Bader. Then other times he'd say it was Willie, a Polish fighter pilot. But he said he was at a school. And he says, well, when I was dogfighting in the Battle of Britain, he says, I'd be dogfighting, and next thing you know, there was a fucker behind me shooting at me. And then he says, and I'd pull up and try and lose the fucker. He said, then I'd loop the loop, come up behind him, and try and shoot the fucker down. And the teacher goes, whoa, 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 girls. At this point, I have to tell you that the fucker is a make of German aircraft. And he says, yeah. He said, that is correct. He says, but these fuckers weren't. They were Messerschmitts. Oh, he was brilliant, Stan Boardman. You know, I wish we could go back to them days when they got rid of all the political correctness. Because they're just jokes. It's up to the people whether they find offence or not. I don't find that offensive, I just find it funny. They actually did. They sent 3 people over from Germany to actually watch Hello Hello with a consideration for buying it for German TV. And these 3 went over, these 3 Germans, and they watched it, the Hello Hello, and they said they were in hysterics. And they come out and they said to the people, they said, well, what did you think of it? And the Germans went, personally, they said, we think it's hysterical. They said, it's a fantastic programme. They said, but we don't think Germany's quite ready for it yet. Because there'd have still been some of them there from World War II. But then again, Fawlty Towers. When I were in Germany on army camps with my brother, in the 70s, late 70s, they were showing Fawlty Towers, and it was great because they were showing it subtitled, but it were an English programme, so I could watch it and understand it on German TV. And apparently they got the Germans episode and they thought it was hilarious. Yeah, that's it. But the Germans that came over to review it at the time, they said Germany's not quite ready for it. But yeah, they were all idiots. He'd had a go at everyone. Anyway, I think that's about enough for tonight. We've dwindled down to just a couple of us tonight now. My throat's getting a bit dry, so I'm ready for a drink. So I think I'll be calling it a night, fellas. We've not done bad. We've nearly done 2 hours 50. So it's not been a bad evening. Enjoyed myself again. I'd like to thank everybody again and wish everybody a good night and tatty pie, everyone. Tatty pie. Yeah, put the world to rights again. Oh, God. It's all good. Hang on. Trying to work out which ones to close. There we go. Anyway, nighty night all. Yeah, I dare say the riots will put it to rights. Anyway, without a thought, nighty night all. Take care, folks. And tatty pie.